Winning Minds was recommended to me by a friend who'd gone and had hypnotherapy and it had been successful for them. And the reason that I went was because I'd suffered from very severe bulimia for almost 10 years. And I got to the stage where I really wanted to change. I was in a bad way when I first had my first consultation with Mark Newey at Winning Minds. I was making myself sick anytime between 3 and 7 times per day. I was in debt because I'd literally go to the supermarket and buy loads of food just to eat and then throw up again. It was literally money down the toilet. It was having a detrimental effect not only on my looks. I looked awful, my face was puffed up, my eyes were sunken, my skin was sallow, my hair was awful, my nails were awful. But it wasn't just that, it was having an effect on my behaviour as well, because I was malnourished and it was affecting the balance in my body. I was moody, I was depressed, I was withdrawn, I was snapping at people who I didn't want to snap at, my friends and family, and behaving really inappropriately on certain occasions when afterwards I'd be so embarrassed, but I felt like I had no control over my mood swings. And I knew that ultimately it was to do with my bulimia. It had overtaken every aspect of my life and it was all that I could think about. My first session with Mark was literally just a chat, really, and he explained to me all about how my mind works and everybody's mind works, in that the vast majority of it is the subconscious brain, and you have no control over the subconscious brain, really. So you can decide in your conscious mind that you want to change, you want to stop being sick, you want to give up smoking, you want to have less stress or more self-esteem. But because the conscious mind is so much smaller and your subconscious has adopted the things that you've been doing for so many months or years as programming, it makes it really difficult to change. So I tried absolutely everything up until that point to try and free myself of this awful disease. I'd tried counselling, I'd tried antidepressants, I'd phoned eating disorders helplines, and whilst I wouldn't say that they were completely unhelpful, they didn't help me to change long term, and I never felt like I was strong enough to change my behaviour. There's a lot of misconceptions, I think, about hypnotherapy, and it's something that I came to hypnotherapy with, and I think a lot of people are carrying around this idea that it's going to be like Mark will snap his fingers and suddenly you'll be out and he'll say you're a chicken and you'll think you're a chicken forever. And it's absolutely nothing like that at all. It's too much watching TV hypnotherapists, I think, that is the problem there. It's just a really deep feeling of relaxation. It's like that feeling when you wake up on a Saturday morning and you don't have to get up for work and you just lay there and feel serene and calm. That's what being in hypnosis is like. And it's a way of speaking directly to your subconscious brain. You are completely aware of everything that's being said to you, and if you need to get up for an emergency or whatever, then you could do that quite easily. And sometimes you'll sort of drift off and have kind of half a daydream, or a thought will kind of run across your brain and you'll think, that was not thought, but it's just your subconscious unraveling really all the issues, the complex thoughts that you have running around there. After the hypnotherapy session, I felt different, and it's difficult to describe how I felt different really. I felt more positive than I ever had before, and like I was strong enough to beat this problem. I knew with an absolute certainty that my life was going to change. The change was quite gradual really, it didn't happen overnight. Although my behaviour, the actual throwing up, stopped quite abruptly. I think I was doing it sort of twice a week for say 3 weeks afterwards. And then suddenly the act of making myself sick seemed completely alien to me. I thought, why would you do that? And it is a completely bizarre behaviour, and that's the correct way to think about it. But I think the turning point for me was one morning when I woke up and thought, ooh, I'm hungry. and went into the kitchen and poured myself a bowl of cereal and ate it and didn't think about it. I ate because I was hungry, I didn't feel guilty afterwards, and I didn't have the urge to throw up afterwards. And I actually emailed Mark and told him that what would be quite an insignificant episode in anyone else's life was such a momentous thing for me, because finally I was establishing a normal relationship with food, and finally I could focus on other things, I could achieve things, I could spend time with my friends and not worry about my own behaviour. I could take responsibility for myself. For that reason, my life has changed so drastically. I really can't thank Mark enough for what he's done for me, and I would recommend hypnotherapy to anybody who has issues with self-esteem, with stress, or with substance addiction. I think this is something that could work for absolutely anyone.